Yo everyone, it's been a while. I have a lot of things I want to talk about, so here are the timestamps on screen, and they'll of course also be chaptered. Oh yeah, and also like the last time I took a break, you'll largely be seeing footage of some of the games I've been playing over the last few months, just in case some of you are confused. Now that we're on the same page, let's get into our first topic, which is that you guys will have a new Super Mario Sunshine video next week. It is the second episode of Road to 119, and I've taken a lot of effort to make it even better than episode 1. In fact, episode 1 isn't even required viewing at all, so it should be a pretty easy watch. My goal for this series is for each episode to have a unique feel to it, so hopefully that's reflected here in episode 2. The only downside here is that episode 2 will have to be cut into 2 separate parts. I'll put the reasons on screen right now, you can pause if you want to read them. After Road to 119 episode 2, I plan on finally making a video that's about the sort of unfinished and beta aspects left behind in some, well, actually really most of Sunshine's cutscenes. This video has been in the planning stage for longer than this channel has been exclusively Sunshine content, which is over 2 years. I've gone back and forth on whether or not I should make this video over that time, which is why it's taken that long. And after that, I have a whole backlog of ideas I want to get to, but here are some of the videos to look forward to. A return to Sunshine Hardcore, a series about going back to old challenge runs and redoing snippets with different rules. So for instance, what if I had to do Sorena 4 Secret from the Floor is Lava mod, but without save states? Of course, you can also look forward to some Sunshine Online content, and also probably a video about Master Matt K and I's new Chaos mod that's coming out. This is the first time I'm officially announcing in a video, which is that Master Matt K and I have been working on a new Sunshine Chaos mod for some time. For those not in the loop, Chaos is a type of mod that can be made for pretty much any game, and it's where a bunch of random, usually detrimental effects randomly happen. Sunshine actually already has a Chaos mod, which I actually have some videos on. However, while working on Sunshine Online, Matthew and I stumbled across a bunch of interesting things that we thought would make good Chaos codes, so we decided we'd make our own. No release date yet, but it's basically almost finished. We currently have 50 codes right now, which is a good number, but we've also noticed that secret stages are incredibly difficult with the current lineup of codes, so we're trying to hit a happy medium between the usual CBT of Chaos mods, while also making a somewhat enjoyable experience. Relatively anyways, it's Chaos we're talking about. The next topic is Super Mario Sunshine Online and what's next. So as always, I do want to say that Master Matt K and I are a 2-person team who only sometimes gets help on the side. That means that 1, new things are typically pretty slow to come to the mod, and 2, sometimes we have to change scope to better suit our limited resources. So with all that said, keep in mind that anything not officially announced in its own update video is not set in stone. That has always been the case and will continue to be the case unless we expand our team, I guess, which isn't completely out of the question. Anyways, the current plan is this. When I finish my map made specifically for tag and hide and seek, we'll want to push a small update that mainly just includes that map, maybe a few small bug fixes. Oh yeah, and by the way, here's some footage of what the map looks like right now. It's mostly just visual polishing that needs to happen. After that, we think it's finally time to port to the Better Sunshine engine, which is a modded engine for Sunshine by Joshua MK, and maybe some other people have worked on it too, I'm actually not really sure. Mods like Eclipse and I think Solarshine are using Better SMS, in case you're curious. I don't really want to talk about the subject too much more because we have yet to really do much that forwards this goal at all, and it might still turn out that Better SMS isn't a good fit for Sunshine Online yet, which is by the way partly why we haven't ported sooner. And finally for this video, it's time for me to talk about why I needed a break. I'm not going to go super into detail here, but here's the cliff notes. Oh yeah, and I'm also reading off a script for this because I'm not very good at talking off the cuff, so if it sounds a little rehearsed, that is why. So a few months ago, I think around March, I got pretty sick. Nothing particularly crazy, just normal flu symptoms, except that the sickness lasted for literally an entire month. I was better for a week or 2, I think, before getting sick again, this time with a throat bug that made me lose my voice for also, I think 2 weeks. It's a bit foggy in my memory. It was a while ago, and also I was sick, so that whole area of time is a bit foggy in my memory. And then at the end of that sickness, I got an ear infection that made me almost completely deaf in my right ear for a little while. By the end of it, I spent a little over 2 months basically straight being sick. And it was generally very hard for me to work on videos during that period, whether that was because of brain fog or not having a voice. And personally, when I can't work on something I want to work on for an extended period of time, that usually leads to feelings of burnout for me. So in that regard, after 2 months of not being able to work on videos, I needed to take a bit longer to want to work on videos, if that makes sense. But that's only one side of the coin, there's a bit more to this story. So one thing I haven't really publicly talked about, mostly because I felt a little embarrassed to admit this as someone who wants to make content creation their career, is that interacting with people online, people who I don't know and that don't have a voice or face, is something that gives me an irrational amount of anxiety. I wanted to interject and post real quick to say that this feeling really mostly applies to text-on-text interaction and not so much with, say for instance, streams. It's mostly DMs or talking in big Discord servers, stuff like that. After SMSO released, I tried for a while to really build up that skill, because from past experiences, I've noticed that if something makes me anxious, doing more of it often helps those feelings. So as an example, I used to feel anxious about streaming, but these days I don't really anymore because I've done a bunch of it over the past couple of years. So that's another reason I really needed to take a break from being online, which is why I made this post a few months ago. But what does that mean going forward? First of all, I want to apologize to anyone who thinks I was trying to ghost them or thought I was generally disinterested in them, and I'm very sorry if I've made you feel that way. No one has come forward to me about anything like that, but I suspect that probably has happened. Second of all, because of what I've just said, I don't want anyone to feel like they shouldn't message me or use the Sunshine Online Discord or anything like that, but also please understand that this is something I am working through, so expect maybe slow responses from me if you are messaging me. I honestly think that putting this out there into the public is the best way for me to get over this, so I'm sorry if this is maybe a bit too personal for what my channel usually is. Despite all of that, I think I'm in the best shape of my entire YouTube quote-unquote career to get working on new videos and streams. If the pre-Sunshine era of my channel was Season 0, and then everything in between then and now was Season 1, then we're now going on to Season 2 of Angry Max. I'm actually genuinely the most excited I've been in a while to get working on new ideas and videos, and I sure hope you guys are too. That's all I have to say. Thank you for listening, even if you've listened to one topic or all of them, and later.